Well, I'm up here today doing a gun cleaning video, and I've already completed that. I wanted to show you a neat little deal. And I first bought one. I bought it as kind of a novelty deal, but I have come to really like it. And I buy CRAFTSMAN power tools, battery tools, the 20 volt, what they call max, 20 volt max tools, and I've had really good luck with them. I got the bands, I got the drills, the jigsaws, the circular saw, I even got a 12-inch bar chainsaw, and I'm just blown away by how good that thing cuts. And one of the things I bought, you know, they run specials on these CRAFTSMAN all the time. You buy a couple batteries and you get a charger, and you get to pick a free tool, or you buy a tool and they give you 2 batteries. I mean, there's always some kind of special going on. And I don't use my tools to make a living by. I'm kind of a hobbyist, you know. And they are plenty good enough quality for me. I've never had one go bad. I've never had, I think I'm still using the original batteries I got with the first tool I got, you know. And one of the things I bought, I saw it, sometimes I'll just get on, you know, Lowe's website, and I'll run around and look and just see what kind of new CRAFTSMAN 20 volt tools they've come out with. And they had this little inverter. And the way it works is it snaps on top of a battery. And I'm not sure, but I think the output is 150 watts. So it won't, you know, it won't run a lot of stuff. But you pull up this little rubber flap here, and there's a 120 outlet. And if you pull up this little flap here, there's a USB-C and a standard USB port for like charging the phone or something. It also has a built-in flashlight, which is, you know, I mean, if you have to see to get around a room, if the power goes out or something, it works just fine. And it's got the switch here to turn it on. Now, when you turn it on, you don't really hear anything, but I have noticed there's a quiet little fan in here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to plug up this light bulb, and I want to show y'all something that's really cool. Now, call me crazy, but I bought this light bulb as more or less a kind of a joke, I guess you could say. And it's one of these multicolored light bulbs, and as you can tell, it changes colors. And you know, it's got the blue, green. As you can see, it's changing. There's purple, back red, orange, yellow, green. And you can do it where it does it quickly, or you can just pick one color, you know. And believe it or not, our headboard has a 120 volt light bulb in it for reading lamps in the headboard of our bed. And I put one of these in there, and I just leave it on red. And listen, you can adjust the intensity. There's of course white. Look, I can go from, there's medium, and there's like low, and I mean low is like really low. There's medium, and there's high. And I found out, you know, we had the big ice storm just a few weeks ago. I found that this bulb on medium plugged into one of these with a battery on it. Now this is a 6 amp hour battery, lithium battery. Obviously that's overkill probably for this little lamp, but this thing will give us light if the power goes out and I plug the reading lamp in the living room on one of these bulbs, and I use the medium setting. This thing run for days. I couldn't even get on my watt meter. I couldn't even get it to register how many watts it was pulling. Now, so I thought what we do is, you know, my watt meter's one of them things you plug into the wall, and then you plug the whatever you want to check into that thing, and you can check your watts, your amperage. And you know, I thought it would at least come up. I mean, when you plug a cell phone in there, it comes up like 5 watts. And I've plugged other things in there, DC, you know, 7, 8 watts. So I know it will go low. This thing would not register. And I thought we would get by. Let me reach down here and get it. I thought we would get my EcoFlow Delta and see if it will tell us how many watts this thing pulls. Let me make sure I got a charge on here. Oh yeah. Yeah. And see what this thing says. Now I'm going to plug it in. Obviously I'm going to plug it in AC. So let me start my AC ports. Alright, there's the medium setting. Hey, y'all think I was kidding? Look here. Can you see? 0. It's showing that light pulling 0 watts. Now, I know that it's got to be pulling more watts than that, but watch when I put it on high power. That's high power. You see that? Let me turn where you can see. 0. Now, I mean, I'm just, you can shut it off by the remote too, or turn it on by the remote. Just a cheesy little deal. But on that medium setting, it was bright enough in my living room that it was almost as bright as the lamp that we use when we're in there in the evenings. And it just blew my mind. I'm going to get my old school watt meter back out, and we'll check out and see what it pulls. So let's plug this in here. Where's that at? Okay. And let me see what it says. 118.4 volts out of the inverter on this. Let's plug this in here. Let's go to watts. Can you see what I'm doing? You probably can't. I'll show you when I get it turned around. Okay, so here's what it says. On high, it's showing 7.5 watts on here. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know how the glare is. 7.5 watts. Let me go to the medium setting. Wow. No wonder it won't show. This thing says 2.6 watts. 2.6 watts. And this is bright enough to light our living room if the power goes out. Now you can imagine, I don't know how many a 6 amp hour battery will go, but what we're going to do is we're going to look at the amps it's pulling. Y'all, on the medium setting, it's pulling, can you see? 0.04 amps. Y'all, that would run this light. Obviously, you don't have to run it in the daytime, but if the power's out, this little rig right here could run the lamp in your living room or wherever you want to put a lamp with one of these bulbs in it on the medium setting for days. I'll tell you what else it's done. We have power recliners, and I'm a big old boy. I have been in my recliner before and the power go out, and I usually keep one of these sitting just like this with the battery already on it. Usually it's like a 3 amp hour battery or something. I don't use one of my big ones for just this, but and I couldn't put the footrest down in my chair, and I didn't want to break the chair getting out of it because, you know, like I say, I'm a big old boy, and having to crawl over the arm of it, you know, I didn't want to break anything. So I went in there and told my wife what to get, and like I said, I had it sitting already in there like that. And I said, hand it to me. And so she handed it to me. I turned the power on, pulled that little flap there up, and plugged my chair. I had her unplug it from the wall and plug it into it. And I was able to put my footrest down in the chair so I didn't, you know, tear it up trying to climb out with that thing laid back. And you know what, I went and bought me another one of these little inverters. And like I say, they're not going to run, you know, they're not going to run your coffee maker. They're not going to run a hair dryer. But 150 watts will charge phones. It will run a lamp, especially with this LED bulb in here. And on the medium setting, it pulls 2.6 watts, 0.04 amps to run that light, and lights up the whole room. I just, you know, to me, I thought, man, that's a no-brainer right there. So anytime we're expecting weather, and y'all know we're in Tennessee, we're in a electrical membership co-op, you know, obviously from the TVA. We've got all the dams over all the rivers all over the state. But being a town with a very small population, sometimes, I think the worst we were ever without power was about 2 or 3 days. But my dad, who is, you know, 4 miles from me, it was out a week. I got a buddy that I used to work with at Goodyear when that ice storm came through in 2009. He was 6 weeks without power. 6 weeks. And of course, he didn't have a generator when it happened. He ended up having to go on icy roads. First, he had to have a chainsaw to cut himself out of his road. And then he had to travel icy roads to bigger towns in places that didn't get hit with the storm so that he could buy generators, because locally they were all gone. And I think over the course of that 6 weeks, he wore out like 3 generators. And can you imagine? And you got something like this around that you can just stick your power tool batteries on, which I probably got it in varying sizes. I probably got more than a dozen of these batteries because of the tools I bought and the deals I look for. And to be honest, this is a generic CRAFTSMAN battery that I ordered off eBay, and it's about one third the cost of CRAFTSMAN battery. I just bought a couple to see how they work, and they work magnificently. But I just want to let you know that that this is definitely a thing to have. And when that ice storm came through a few weeks ago, I got these two out and I plugged them, one on a lamp in the living room and one on a lamp in the kitchen. And that way, if power goes out, I've got light for days just in these tool batteries. So, of course, I got an EcoFlow at home. I've got an EcoFlow that I keep up at my building. Those are for the freezers if something goes wrong with the freezer. Now I've got solar panels if we have to put them out. I've got propane generators. But this and this for lighting and charging phones, man, it's a no-brainer. Look, when I plugged that in, the voltage. Do you see it? Was it 122? Fairly stable. Let's see what my cycles are. Hertz. 59.5. Kilowatt hours. Yeah, see it. It don't even register on kilowatt hours. Let's go to amps. Now that medium setting's pulling 0.2 amps out of this inverter on this thing. And let me see. Back to watts. 2.4 watts. That's a lot of light for 2.4 watts. Let's see what it does with the high power. Oh, I hit the timer. Yeah, this little light has timers on it too, see. Okay, let's see what we got with that. Now pulling 6.8 watts. I think once the LEDs heat up a little bit, it actually makes the current a little easier to flow through them. Let's see, amps. 0.12 amps. So basically a tenth of an amp. For this light, which I would say is probably as bright as a 60 watt incandescent bulb. See what kind of hertz this little thing's putting out with it on high. 59.5, very stable in the output for voltage and hertz. Yeah, we've stabilized. We're like 121 volts. And I had never heard of these. I think they're like a really well-kept secret. I might end up getting one or two more just to have lamps on if the power goes out. And I mean, you just use the lamp as you would any other lamp, you know. So it's a pretty neat deal. And I just want to tell you all about it. So I did notice that a lamp globe or a lamp shade can interfere with the remote. So obviously it's kind of a set it, forget it thing. But I kind of like that. I think the colored lights is pretty cool too, you know. And I have used the the purple light. Let me see where. I think it's that setting right there. To look at old guitar finishes. It works. It works. It will fluoresce the old nitrocellulose guitar finishes. I'm going to put it back on white, and I'm going to put it on high just for the heck of it. I wonder what it'd do on low. There's low. 0.01 amps. Wow, 0.00098. It's moving around a little watts. So not even 1 watt to run that thing on low. And that's definitely enough to help you get around a room without stubbing a toe or breaking your neck. I just thought that was pretty cool. And I didn't know about it, so I thought, hey, maybe other people don't know about it either. So appreciate you watching.